What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome on in. One TS Daily here, live at One True Sport. How's it going? I'm Zack Heydorn from Brass Ring Media and Sports Illustrated. Pumped to be here. We got a lot to discuss going into the holidays next week, and kind of some weird wrestling schedule. I was looking ahead today, planning out like, okay, how are we gonna cover what, and when are we gonna cover what on this show, and when are we gonna do the show, because of the holidays. And it's crazy. I mean, you've got taped shows and shows on Christmas and shows on New Year's. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. But I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here as we ramp up, and hopefully everybody's doing well and has all their holiday shopping done. I don't. So if anybody has any suggestions, like some just good quirky gift ideas, I'm all ears. I'm all ears because I'm brainstormed out. But yeah, Zack Heydorn has a lot of holiday shopping left to do. Thanks so much for being here. This is One TS Daily. We're live with this show every single Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, talking to you and with you about pro wrestling and about the week in pro wrestling and about the day in pro wrestling. And it's been such a fun part of my year. We're looking back at the year of work collectively, like getting this show off the ground and, building a relationship with you guys. It's been really fun. So I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you've been here. And we've got a lot on the way for this year's show. If you're watching on YouTube today, thanks so much for being here. I appreciate it. If you could do me a favor and like the video, that would be much appreciated. It helps us grow the channel, helps us grow the show. If you're listening and watching live on Twitter X, hi, thanks so much for being here as well. Certainly appreciate it. And you guys can also like the video. You know how to do that with that little like button, the heart, hit the heart. And again, that'll be, it's much appreciated, and thank you in advance. We're going to spend a lot of time talking AEW today. If you would like to talk about another topic or rant about AEW or ask questions about AEW, I do have our live chat open. Got some folks filing in there right now. I also have our super chats open as well. And so if you want to make sure that you get your comment read live on the air, use that super chat feature. It helps us out. Any contribution level, anything that you can do on that front is a big help. And I thank you in advance for that, and appreciate it. And we will get to all super chats. If we're here, even if we're here 10 straight hours, mark my words, we'll get to every super chat. Don't you forget it. And then, of course, if not, if you just want to like chime in and go back and forth, I'll try to read as many live chats as I can. But can't get to all of them. And so that's why the super chat feature is there, to let me know that, hey, Zack, attention, definitely get to this. Okay, so now with some of that business out of the way, let's talk about yesterday's episode of AEW Dynamite, the holiday ball. It was the holiday night, for AEW. I thought that looked really good. The look of the building, the look of the show, the feel of the show. I mean, they were definitely in a smaller arena, for sure. But man, I thought that just did a lot for AEW. It did a lot for the show and the perception of the show. It didn't feel like it was in this like cavernous space with nobody in it. It felt like people were watching it and interested, and I thought that did a nice job. I also thought they had the building lit well. I thought they had the stage lit well, and I thought that the holiday bash element to this to the show really worked and popped. And so props to AEW on that, because does it sting to have to downgrade the buildings that you're running if you're running a promotion business the way Tony Khan is? Yeah, I would surmise that it does sting. But that said, it is what it is, and you have to be realistic about where you are and what you are. And and then adjust accordingly. And I think in the long run, this adjustment will help the product feel more relevant and feel more important. Let's go to live chat here. Josh is there. What's up, Josh? Josh says, good morning, Zach. Good morning, Josh. Thanks for being here, man. I appreciate it. What'd you think of Dynamite last night? Would love to hear from you and others on that. Okay, so you had the show kick off with Mercedes Moné defending her title against Anna Jay. And look, I like this match. I thought it was a good, solid little match between these two. But boy, I'll tell you what, for as much as I did like the match, I thought it painted, kind of like a realistic picture about Anna Jay, and one that I think even I was on the wrong side of in terms of my opinion of her, and only in certain ways. Like, she's improved a lot, over the last year, no question about it. And like her time in Japan has certainly played a big part in that development, and she's just become a better pro wrestler, no question. I think it's easy to see that when she's not working with a talent like Mercedes Moné, because in this match, I thought for as good as Anna Jay has been, Moné is just another level above. And I thought Moné got a really good match out of Anna Jay, but when you just look at the pace and you look at the crispness and you look at the timing, Anna Jay's just a step behind. So it was kind of like a enlightening moment where you say to yourself, okay, yeah, Anna Jay's gotten a lot better. There's no question about that. However, she's still, not at Mercedes Moné level. But really, but who is, right? I mean, who there's not many women on the planet that are on her level in terms of like wrestling matches in a wrestling ring. And, it gives Anna Jay a goal to work towards. How much closer to Moné can she get? I don't know the answer to that. I mean, there's a part of Anna Jay's game that I think is just really green and robotic. And I think that's what she's got to knock off. Like, she's got to knock some of that like choreographed stuff off. And I think very much you still watch her and you're like, she's going through the steps, and you can tell. Whereas Moné's out there just, doing her thing. Man, I'm yawning. So I liked the match, but it was a pretty stark reminder that, hey, Anna Jay is just not quite on Mercedes Moné's level. Now, at some point, you're going to want to put Mercedes Moné in the world title picture, right? I mean, and I thought this was a good opportunity to give like Anna Jay a 1-2-3 kid over Razor Ramon kind of win. And they didn't do it. And so, Moné's still the TBS champion once again. And like, that's fine. That's fine. I just, at some point she's got to be, mixing it up with Toni Storm, Raya May, and everybody at the top, and not on the level of Chris Statlander and Anna Jay and that batch of talent. So interesting to see what they do here. As far as Mercedes Moné goes, like, she looked great out there as in the ring, like, just fantastic. And by the way, if you have not seen her match from over the weekend at the New Japan Strong Style Evolve show, go watch it. I'm not going to give too much away, but I will say that it's the best match that you'll see before the end of the year. I'll tell you that. And probably within the last 6 months too. Like it is really, really tremendous. I mean, a tremendous match. And it shows just how high of a level Mercedes Moné is and what she can do, because it was fantastic. It was just a fantastic match. There's no two ways about that. And I highly recommend watching that. We've got Chris in the chat here. Says, do you watch ROH? I do. Listen, I watch almost everything. I really do. I mean, I try to be a well-rounded, analyst and journalist in this space. And so in order to do that, I feel like I do need to watch as much as I can and report on it. And so, yeah, I do watch ROH. I'll be watching Final Battle over the weekend or tomorrow, I guess. And we'll have a preview of that show tomorrow right here on 1TS Daily. Chris, do you watch ROH or are you just an AEW fan? Let me know what you think. The ROH product is interesting, man. Like, if you decide to turn it on, and thanks, Chris, if you decide to turn on the ROH product at any given moment, or you decide to watch the shows, you get some solid wrestling. But what it's missing is like the reason to turn it on. That to me is what it's missing. Like Matt Cardona and Chris Jericho, yeah, a cool little match if you're already watching, but you're not going to go out of your way, I don't think, to watch that match play out. Athena would be a good reason to, but I just don't think enough people know that title run's even going on in Ring of Honor right now. Like it's just it's just not promoted enough by Tony Khan. I think if they could get more out of Athena, if they did promote her better for ROH, but the bottom line is too, it's a feeder system for AEW, right? Like there's nobody is going to be there. Nobody like that gets over huge in ROH is going to stay in ROH. They're going to get bounced up to AEW. And I think you're about to see that with Athena for sure. So, it just got diminishing returns. I don't love the show on a regular basis, Chris. I think it's kind of a bit of a slog to get through most weeks. Although the Athena stuff for the last 2 years has been, the high point. And I think it'll be the high point this weekend at Final Battle as well. We got Ian in the chat that says, "What's up? Normally don't catch this show live. How have you been feeling? Have you been feeling better, dude?" Yeah, man. Thank you, E. I have. I've been feeling much better. I'm glad to be back in the host chair. I don't like taking shows off. And last week I had to. So glad to be back. Yeah, and E, thanks. I'm glad you're able to catch the show live. Shame on your the rest of your day that you can't catch this live. Shame. No, I'm kidding. But you can also get it after the fact. So glad that you watch and listen and subscribe to the channel. So appreciate you. If you guys want more of me, you can always catch me at Brass Ring Media. We've got all sorts of shows at Brass Ring Media that go up live. We have a YouTube channel, and all my written work can be read on the Brass Ring Media Substack newsletter. In that, we update that every day with content. So Brass Ring Media is my shop that I run, and hopefully you guys check that out if you want more. All right. So we had 2 Continental Classic matches this week on AEW Dynamite. The first, Shelton Benjamin against the Beast Mortos. We had Shelton Benjamin win this match and win it pretty definitively. I like that move. I like giving Shelton something here. Obviously, I don't think he's going to win this tournament, but when you have him as a part of the Hurt Syndicate faction, and that faction, along with Bobby Lashley and MVP, is going to be like a premier faction for you, like in your company. You don't want to forget about the supporting cast, and Shelton is that. And in a tournament like this, you can get him some wins to help build that credibility and help build like a reason for him to even be wanted by the Hurt Syndicate faction and MVP. Like if you had him losing all the time, right? I mean, you kind of have to look inward and say to yourself, like, okay, like why does MVP even want this guy in the faction, right? So some wins here for Shelton are good, and I thought the match was really good. It didn't compare though to the Gold League match, Darby Allin versus Will Ospreay. Darby Allin defeating Will Ospreay clean in the middle of the ring. That was the most newsworthy element of the whole show. Like that is something, especially when you had him do jobs to Brody King and Claudio Castagnoli, in the recent past. Like it's crazy. Like and look, I like the match itself was tremendous. If you haven't seen it, go out of your way to see it. Tremendous match. And my favorite part of it is like you had two different wrestlers stylistically figure out a way to mesh together and put on a really tremendous match with their own styles. It's like styles make fights, right? And I thought they were able to like showcase that. You had Darby try out his really like insanely dangerous stuff. Will Ospreay either countered it or just used his style of fast paced offense, and both guys sold well. Both guys delivered their moves well, and they just gelled. They gelled in their own way, and they didn't lose who they were to try to wrestle someone else's match. Like they didn't. Will Ospreay didn't all of a sudden drop what he did in order to have like a crazy hardcore match with Darby Allin. Same thing with Darby the other way. Like he didn't lose like kind of that hardcore edge and try to out wrestle Will Ospreay or out try to high spot Will Ospreay. He just did his thing, and both guys did their thing, and they just worked together and integrated it together, and the result was a really compelling match. Now Darby Allin going over is surprising. Just again, because of the matches he's lost. I think they're still angling towards him beating Jon Moxley for the world championship. This is a smart win to give him if he's going that way. At any point, this is a good win to give him. I just wouldn't have given those other losses. So, let's see what happens here. Let's see where they go. But fantastic match, the best match yet in the Continental Classic tournament this year. I think. I know. Fletcher and Okada is up there, but for my money, it's this one. It's this one. So if you haven't seen it yet, go out of your way and give it a go. Chris asks here, where can I watch ROH highlights? YouTube. Not yet though. Don't leave this show yet to watch ROH highlights. But after we're over, after we're done, that's where you can find them. You can find them on YouTube. All right. Then in the end, in the main event, we had Death Riders. Jon Moxley, Wheeler Yuta, and Pac beat Jay White, Orange Cassidy, and Adam Page. This match went exactly kind of as you expected it to go. Can the baby faces get along? No, they can't. So they lose. Come on, baby faces. You're better than that. No, this was like the age-old story of baby faces teaming together that have title matches with each other down the road. They can't get out of their own way. They argue, they fight, they bicker, and the result was they lost. So I didn't think this was very compelling. I didn't think this was very good. I don't think the Fatal 4-Way is very good. But it is what it is. And so if you're going to go down that road, like you kind of had to have the main event play out the way that it did. You kind of had to show White, Cassidy, and Page not on the same page, right? Because the end game here is not to build up Death Riders against these three. It's these three competing for the world title with Jon Moxley. Like that's the story you want to tell. So there has to be like a inner turmoil, right? Like in this, and that's what they had, and that's what they had, and that's what they did, and that's that. That's it. And so I don't love the storyline, but I understand why they did that. Robert is in our live chat and says, "Was there a live show yesterday? Couldn't find it. Hope you're feeling better." There was a live show yesterday. Yes. There may or may not have been some YouTube issues yesterday because I've gotten some feedback, Robert, from others that are asking the same question. Where's the live show? And I'm not sure. I know I did one, and I know I talked with folks, and I know it was on. I know it was on YouTube and on our Twitter feeds. I don't know where it is right this second. I can't find it on the channel. So more to come on that, Robert. But yes, there was, and hopefully you can find it. Hopefully you can find it very soon. Chris also wants to know, do you watch TNA? I do watch TNA. We're going to go over some results, some TNA results here, or excuse me, preview here in a minute for tonight's show. So more to come on that. Chris. I think it's a best of show tonight, so there won't be a ton to preview, but we're gonna do it. We do here on 1TS 1TS Daily. All right, let's talk a little bit of news here before we run through TNA tonight, and then ride off into the sunset and wrap up the show. So Kenny Omega got some promo for his big return to AEW last week on the show. It's a cool video. It's up on SI's website right now. You can also see it on AEW Twitter. But Kenny Omega's coming back, and it's a shame. And I think, is Tony Khan cool for allowing this to happen? Sure. But how Kenny Omega's first return match is going to be in Japan and not on an AEW show is beyond me. Like, that's just unfathomable. Now, that said, this was a good promo video. They're clearly hyping up the return of Omega. I expect him, when he comes back, to be inserted like at the top of the card in some form or fashion. At least that's where he should be. So we'll see what happens. But yes, Kenny Omega is coming back very soon to AEW Dynamite. Athena commented on ROH and teased a shift to AEW TV. We just talked about that. If you get over in ROH, you're going to move on. You're going to move on. So, that's why ROH is going to have problems. That's why ROH is going to have problems. And then last but not least, yesterday, WWE had their big Netflix Raw premiere press conference at Netflix headquarters. You had Paul Heyman there. You had Seth Rollins there. You had CM Punk there. You had Rhea Ripley there, Liv Morgan. They announced Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley for that show for the world title. I think this is where Rhea gets that big win. I think this is where she gets the win. She wins the title, and then on you go for whatever WrestleMania plans she's going to have. But yeah, so another huge match for the show that already includes Solo Sikoa versus Roman Reigns in a tribal combat match and CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. They had a confrontation. Seth Rollins called CM Punk a bootlicker during the show or during the press conference. So drama. But it's pretty cool. Pretty cool little thing. WWE has figured out how to do these really well, and they have. They did yesterday with that. And then, of course, Logan Paul back in the fold of WWE. Teased retirement earlier this month, but is back and is going to be on the Raw brand now, as he declared yesterday during the Raw on Netflix press conference event. So there you go, Logan Paul back in the fold. All right. E says here, shows the most recent episodes is 3 days ago. That's crazy to me. I'm not sure what happened to the show yesterday. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out with Dominic and others at One True Sport right now as to why it's not there. We'll work on it, but hopefully just catch up for this one. Maybe watch the old episodes. I'm just kidding. No, we're working on it, guys. I appreciate it, and thanks for your patience. And sorry it wasn't there. I think you can go on the Twitter page right now and catch it, though. I know that it's there. So and Chris says they don't show good highlights in YouTube for ROH. No, they do. But again, you're looking. It feels like you're looking right now. We don't want this. We got to stay focused. Stay at this show. I'm kidding. We'll find them. I'll try to post some up. I'll post the link on my Twitter page. So at Zack _Heydorn. I'm also on Blue Sky, you guys. Follow me there. I do a lot more there these days than I do on Twitter for, obvious reasons. So yeah, Blue Sky, Zack Heydorn at Blue Sky. Find me, follow me. Let's have fun during wrestling shows on Blue Sky. All right, TNA has a show tonight, but it is just the best of. First run programming is not returning to TNA until after the new year. So, if you miss TNA or you wonder what all the hype's about, or you wondering, is it worth watching? Hey, this best of is a good way to catch up. Good way to catch up. All right, you guys, we'll wrap up there. Thanks so much for everything today. Thanks so much for the time. Thanks so much for your time. And thanks for the live chats and thanks for the engagement. I appreciate it. Again, if you want more of me, find me at Brass Ring Media on YouTube. Just search Brass Ring Media YouTube, and on Substack. Brass Ring Media is the name of the newsletter. It's updated every day. It's about to get updated with my full AEW Dynamite review column. So you get all that for free. So you just got to go sign up. Cool? Sign up now. Tomorrow, we'll preview Final Battle. We'll preview SmackDown and so much more. So be here. This is 1TS Daily on One True Sport. We're live here, giving you a quick, snackable, 25, 30-minute wrestling show to get you started with your day. And don't miss it tomorrow. We'll be here. 1TS Daily, live at One True Sport. I'm Zack Heydorn. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Thursday afternoon. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See ya.